Hello everyone, my name is Rubén and I belong to Inspire's Hotbed at Uniminuto. This study was intended to demonstrate how listening comprehension can be improved in a B1 level among 25 students from the bachelor. This program was called Major Linguas and was distributed throughout two platforms, YouTube and Cine Radio. Every video has a workshop which was the tool in order to evaluate listening
Our
comprehension.
research methodology is qualitative. However, our data collection tools are mixed. It wants to say that we use numerical data and experiential data. Our data collection tools are surveys, interviews, questionnaires, and listening comprehension workshops. The workshops were done at the end of the programs with the intention to know if the students could improve their listening comprehension skills. Also, we used the communicative language approach, and the target languages were English and Portuguese. Furthermore, it is important to highlight that we did a survey before doing the programs with the intention to know the students' needs and interests.
Okay, this study aimed to explore the impact of radio podcasts on enhancing students' listening comprehension skills. A 5-session program was conducted where students actively engaged in listening workshops. Results indicate that incorporating radio podcast as an alternative tool for listening comprehension proved beneficial, aligning with similar studies like Rodriguez and Serrano in 2023. Students demonstrate improved test performances and comprehension, supporting the idea that educators should have the opportunity to use the podcast in order to students tend to perform the listening skill, and at the same time they have the possibility to improve in other different ways. During the sessions, students preferred using computers instead of smartphones. Contrasting with Gomula in 2020, where students favored smartphones for podcast. And the integration of both podcast and radio streaming revealed that body language and visual cues accessible via YouTube facilitated better comprehension. Exposure to diverse content, as noted by Parales and Mariscal in 2023, allowed students to gain knowledge as various accents, for example, vocabulary, conversational styles, bringing them closer to real world using probably the context language. And this study highlights the value of podcast in fostering autonomy, in fostering all the whole abilities to students have the possibility to participate in different ways, not just with the classical form we tend to teach a class, bringing them closer to real world languages, and at the same time the usage of them in context. We can say as this final part of the discussion that this study highlights the value of podcast in fostering autonomy and language learning. However, future research should investigate future innovation in the combination of podcast to meet evolving some educational need. And as a conclusion, podcast and radio are valuable tools for enhancing listening comprehension and fostering all type of students which are trying difficulties when they are probably asking for strategies and things in listening activity. Other type of thing that we can conclude, it's the autonomy. It increases a lot in order to they feel very autonomous in their learning process. This study demonstrates that the 95% of students improved their ability of, the most difficult one, that it's listening, through a type of engagement with radio podcast. At the same time, teachers, it could be a type of conception, we can say, but teachers should explore creative combinations of these tools to meet learners and at the same time all the whole needs that probably they tend to present. We can say that while future research should continue to investigate, innovate all about methods that probably could be better in order to improve this type of a strategy. I recommend that next time, if there is another person who wants to try this type of activity or methodology for enhanced students, it could be study more about the innovation of how probably we tend to use another type of streaming platforms or other type of tools that help us to improve and increase the use of podcast, and motivate the students, of course, to continue working the radio as a via for improving their listening skills. Thank you so much, and that's all.